Hello and welcome to the 100 Points in 30 Days Summit, where we address individuals who need to add 100 points on their personal credit score in 30 days or improve their business credit score in 30 days as well. Now, I've rounded up several of the top professionals in the niche of personal and business credit education and finance to help with this issue. My name is Emmanuel Michael. I'm former radio host of the Top Entrepreneur Show in Jackson, Mississippi, Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, as well as Jackson, Tennessee. And today we're here with a gentleman all the way from Florida by way of New York who is a specialist in the field of business credit. He knows 100% about what it takes to be successful, what you need to have in place in order to be successful in business. He's helping a lot of people make a lot of money. He loves to have fun, but more importantly, he loves to help people. And without further ado, everybody, please help me welcome Mr. Cedric Butler. Mr. Butler, welcome to the summit. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, sir. Thank you very much. I appreciate the platform. Thank you for your time on having me. I appreciate that.
Man, we appreciate you being here. So, Mr. Butler, before we jump into the meat and potatoes of things, just tell a little bit about, I did say where you're from, but tell us a little bit how you got started in the industry, a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, my background is in accounting. So I worked in the corporate space for 18 years doing accounting work. I left the corporate world in 2015. I opened up New Eric Success LLC in 2016, just jumped out there on faith. And what got me started in the business credit was I found a gentleman who was another business owner who was offering funding and business credit because I was looking for funding for my company. And I sat down with him and he told me a couple of key points about building business credit. And then I wound up joining his platform to learn a lot more about it. And through that process, I just took it upon myself to self-teach myself on how to build business credit for my company and wound up wanting to use a platform to add as a service because I also want to do bookkeeping and accounting or bookkeeping and payroll for my business. So I added that to my platform so I can teach others how to grow and scale their business because credit is definitely important in this day and age.
Absolutely. That's good, man. That's good. So, tell us why do you do what you do? What makes you tick?
I want to teach that financial literacy part in the African American community. I think it's huge because this piece is missing. If we wasn't taught from our parents or great grandparents or grandparents, then it's a missing piece. The financial portion is not taught a lot to us. And these are one of the things that a lot of small business owners do fail because they don't have the resources to grow their business and the capital to, grow their business. So most of them are out of business within 2 to 5 years. So when I found out about this, I just believe business credit is very important for people to scale and grow their business. And also, it's a way you can build it to where your personal credit is not affected. So I just want to teach this for a lot more people because just want to be out here to help and teach them, how to scale their business and build generational wealth for the future.
Hey, man, I like that generational wealth. You said something important about personal credit, and a lot of people have the idea that they can't really build a business credit because their personal credit is flawed. What advice or what would you say to a person that has less than perfect credit, but they want to get started with a business and they know that their personal credit may hold them back?
So first thing I'll tell them is you can build business credit solely off the EIN of the company. As a business owner, you're able to establish 2 credit profiles for your business. You have your personal credit, and then you also have your business credit, which is solely based off the EIN, because that's almost like the social security number to your business. So you can clearly build it off. It's a strategic way you have to do it. So there are some things you have to have done, structured for your company before you start building the credit, because you can't get denied credit if you don't have the proper structure for your business.
So what are some of the main challenges that you run into with people who, just starting out in business and they come to you for guidance to help them out? What are some of the challenges you often run into?
Mostly it's the structure part because a lot of people don't know about the DUNS number. They don't get a professional email. They believe Yahoo and Gmail are professional emails. And I kind of have to enlighten them to say, that's not a professional email. And if you wasn't a business owner, you can get that. That's more of a personal email. So I just tell people, you got to show credibility for your company. So certain things as far as the structure, a lot of people don't know about. They're a little scared to jump out there and do things. So they come to me for that proper guidance and say, okay, I need you to walk me through certain things. So I kind of, walk them through that. And then also having supplies, their cash flow is low. So, business credit will help where they can go get their supplies and, have a credit limit with a creditor and then, be able to pay on terms instead of just, if a computer breaks now, they got to go pay out of pocket. They can go to suppliers, get it, and then pay it back within 30 days, maybe 60 days, or even having a revolving account with that company. So those are some of the challenges that, most business owners have when they come to me.
So the biggest issue is cash flow, I'm hearing. And what if even if the business has slow cash flow and they're able to, at some point, build business credit, how it's very important. I'm sure it's very important to make sure that they're paying their business credit on time, because they're going to mess up both your credit, personal and business.
That's correct. Yes. So, and that's one thing I tell people, it's not done overnight. So don't rush the process. Take your time with it, because you don't want to overextend yourself. You don't want to go buy a whole bunch of supplies and then know you can't pay it back within the time that they're giving you. So take time with it. Slowly build it up. And I always tell people, progress, not perfection. So as long as you're doing something to make them movement towards your goal, you're good. So it's not an overnight process. It takes a while to build it up.
Well, do you help people that have tried to build their own business credit before, or they've gone to another company, maybe they didn't have success, or, they didn't have the cash flow at the time and they messed up some things and they come to you with the same company, with the same EIN? Do you work with those people, or
Yes.
What kind of suggestions do you give them?
Yeah, so I do work with those people. I have 2 clients that actually came to me with working with somebody else. And the first thing I do is I look at the overall structure first. So that's the main thing, is to make sure they have all the components in place. And sometimes they're missing a couple of things. Sometimes they are, they made some late payments and they don't know how to remove them. So that drops your score on the business side. So, I know those things to go ahead and tell them how to remove it. Let's do this, place a couple of orders. So you can rebuild credit as well on the business side. Just got to know how to do it. And everything is strategically done. Just like personal credit, you can do the same thing on the business side as well.
So when you say structure, what do you mean? You meaning like structure with the Secretary of State, or you mean what do you mean by that?
So structure is having business active, registered with the state, having your EIN number, having a DUNS number, having that professional email, website. This is all a part of the structure. All these things you need to have in place because they check these things. I tell people, you want to look like a Fortune 500 on paper, whether you had a revenue to back it or not. So if you look good on paper, you can move forward. Somebody, people actually work with you because now they see that you're structured properly. So it's like, all right, I can send a little credit to you. And then once you start making some payments and, placing some orders with that company, now, your credit limit raises and other companies want to, start working with you as well. So it's all a price, all strategically done.
Great. Now, I'm asking this question. You made a post on, have my other computer here. You made a post on social media about needing business credit, $50,000 funding guaranteed. Tell me more about that. Okay.
So I actually consult business owners through the process of building a minimum of $50,000 in business credit, solely attached to their EIN, nothing linked to your social security number. So it's a 4-phase process that I use. Takes about 6 to 9 months. So when we build up all the credit and you add up all the trade lines that you establish, you'll have a minimum of $50,000 guaranteed in business credit.
Okay, so what are the benefits of, like a good business credit score? Because, it's a lot of information out there where some folks say, cash is king.
Correct.
Cash is king, so what are the advantages of actually having a good business credit score as opposed to just paying cash for it?
Okay, so everybody know everything in this world is based off credit. So cash is cream, but credit is queen. And it all depends on what you're looking to do or what you're looking to establish. So one good thing about having credit is, especially on the business side, is you can keep it separate from your personal credit. The second good thing about building business credit is now you can keep your cash flow intact and be able to order your supplies from different vendors and pay it back when they invoice you. which can be up to 30 days, up to 60 days, or it can be a revolving account. The third thing is with business credit, you add more leverage to your company. So now companies can see that you're self-sufficient. You have credit for your business, you got good revenue. So now if you bring good personal credit to the table, now you can start getting lines of credit and getting cards with major credit cards to start building generational wealth. So now you can use other people's money to start tripling, quadrupling money, pay it back, and then, keep growing your business. So it's more leverage when you build business credit for the business.
Good. So how do you maintain and grow a healthy business credit report or score? Does it operate like personal credit? Sometimes your personal credit may go up, your limits get too high and they drop you down. The credit card companies begin to close some of your cards or lower your credit limits because you overextended yourself. Does the same thing happen in the business world?
Right. Same principles. One good thing is inquiries don't hurt your credit on the business side. So you can apply to 5-6 different companies. That won't hurt you at all. You want to keep your utilization at 30. So that also applies on the business side. Because like I said, you don't want to overextend yourself. You have a 5,000 credit line. You go spend 4,000. You'll pay 1,000. So now you'll be late. So late payments do hurt your credit score. They can bring down your paydex scores. What they call it on the business side. It's called a paydex score. Paying it early raises your score. So anything from a 75 or above, or 70 to 80 is good. Anything 80 or higher is great. That shows that you pay your invoices 10 to 20 days before they even due. So creditors love to see that. And then as long as you spend the money, these creditors are going to raise your credit limit. Now, they can drop it if your credit score starts to drop, your payday score starts to drop. They will start lowering your scores. They'll send you a letter and say, hey, you had 5,000, we got to lower it to 25 because of pulling your credit and things of that nature. So, but you always want to make your payments on time. If you got a good payment history, your score will stay at an 80 or above, which is great on Dun & Bradstreet and Arena as well.
So you really want to pay it within a week, within 2 weeks, a week or 2 weeks, from what I was just hearing from you.
Yes, you definitely want to do that. That is correct.
So you're not going to have the money in 2 weeks, don't even get it.
Well, no, I want it's best to pay it within a 2-week time frame. But if you can't, don't wait till the last minute. And that's what I tell people. Don't wait till the 30th day to pay it. Because you got to post. And if it posts the next day, you're late. So, pay it back, pay it back as early as you can. But if you got to pay it back, pay about 5-6 days before the due date. So it'll post on time, payment clears, everything is good. And then your score could stay at an 80.
Well, I've talked to people before and, they say, my business doesn't have a business credit report or score. Why would a company not have a business credit report or score?
Because they probably are not working with any companies that report to Dun & Bradstreet. They probably haven't established credit for their business at all, so they're not doing business with anybody. But I will tell people it's good to look at your credit reports because you have one established and you want to check to make sure there's nothing inaccurate reporting, because you may have something that's on there that don't even belong to you. And then when you start applying for credit, then they may deny you and you see something on there that doesn't belong. So you want to dispute things beforehand so you have a clean report. So you can go to Dun & Bradstreet and actually look at your report for free and check that out and make sure there's nothing on there reporting.
Okay. So if you have a business credit report and you have a score with Dun & Bradstreet, you can actually have that without even setting it up with the company.
That's correct. Oh, wow. Because you may be doing business, ordering supplies from somebody, and they report. But if your knowledge is not there to ask, do you report to the business side or anything like that? You'll never know until you look at your report. So I tell people, and it's good to just check your report, especially if you're a business owner, because you just never know what might report on there. Just like our personal credit, there may be some stuff on your personal credit that is not there, and then you get denied, and you pull in like, okay, these are not mine. So now you got to dispute it, wait the 30 days out. So, for any business owner right now, when they look at this podcast said, check your business credit report. Even if you don't think you have credit reporting, go and check it.
Right.
Definitely go.
Right. Now I'm gonna ask you the silver bullet question here. This is what everybody wants to know. How to establish a business credit profile in 30 days. Is it possible to get that business credit paydex score at 80, like you just said, in 30 days? What are there any steps out there that it can happen, or is that like a pie in the sky dream?
It's not a pie in the sky dream. I would say you can get your structure and your first 2 trade lines within 30 days. So you can definitely get set up as far as structure, DUNS number, all that good stuff. And I can actually tell you what 2 companies to report, because you're going to need at least 3 to 4 payment experiences or 3 to 4 orders to actually get that paydex score created. So you need to order with somebody at least 4 times in order to get a paydex score. And then you build from there. So you may, those first 2 companies, you can order from them twice each. But through my program, once you order through the first 2 companies, I give you another 2 companies. So that'll be your 3rd and 4th. And then once you order from them and then that reports, then your paydex score is created.
So what's our timeline on this? Let's say I start a company. Let's say I start a company January 1st or May 1st or whatever, and I need to get funding. I need a line of credit. I need to get employees. Vendor credit is great, but I really need a staff in order to get me over the hump and get my business operating like it needs to. Okay. What ideally, what's a realistic goal and timeline a person could utilize your program and get to where they need to be if they need $100,000 or $250,000 worth of credit?
So, guideline, my time frame is 6 to 9 months to build a minimum of $50,000. Now that process continues as long as the business owner keep spending, paying his bills on time, and they will keep extending credit to them. Now, as far as getting immediate funding, such as maybe a line of credit with the bank or major credit cards, I tell my business owners, keep your personal credit intact and keep that at an A1 rating as well, because they're going to pull that. Mm-hmm. Now, the great thing about it is there are certain companies out there that do report to Dun & Bradstreet or Experian. So when you do get that credit card or you do work with that bank that you want to get a line of credit from, they do report to the business credit agencies. You just got to know beforehand before you do business with them. Because I tell people, in order to establish a great profile, you want to deal with people that report to the business credit agency. We all know on the personal side, everybody reports to all the personal, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. On the business side, it's a little different. All companies don't report. So you got to make sure you know who reports, how often they report, so you can build a credit profile for your business.
And that's as simple as just calling up the company and asking, right?
It's as simple as that, but sometimes you just may have to talk to a second person, because the first person can tell you yes, and then the second person no, and then it's vice versa. So sometimes, because companies switch all the time. One month or the last 8 years, this company been reporting to Dun & Bradstreet, then they may have stopped, and then they may report to Experian, or they may not report at all. So it all depends on the company and, what they're going through at that time. And I also want to piggyback off, when we establish our accounts with our bank accounts, one thing I tell people, business owners, establish that relationship with that bank, because you need to know what their specs or qualifications are when wanting to get a line of credit or a loan. Because a lot of people think, I built business credit, I can walk into a bank and get a loan now. No. They're going to look at your personal credit because they want to make sure you're credit worthy. A lot of people can run their life through their business and keep their personal credit back. So that's why banks check that, because as a small business owner, anybody making $5 million or less is still considered a small business owner. So they're not going to just let you personally guarantee a loan or a line of credit. They're going to want you to be attached to that. But if you establish that relationship and you build that relationship, After a while, as your company grow and they see that your company is self-sufficient, they may not personally guarantee the second or third time. So establish that relationship with your bank and make sure they can help a small business owner like yourself.
Well, you know, we talk about lines of credit and establishing relationship with banks. You know, I know it's very critical and important for a company to start the right way when they start up, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of times small business owners, you know, we will eliminate the insurance. That's the first thing to go because, you know,
Right.
That's an expense. I don't need that. Right.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, you really need that.
You do.
Because like you said, you want to look like a Fortune 500 company on paper. But, you know, if you don't have all the structure, as you put it, and you don't have the elements in place, then, you know, when you sit down with that banker, you're going to be disappointed.
Correct. Yes. Yes. And, you know, people have this thing like, oh, I don't need, you do need this. Like, this is what it is. This is how it works. This is the process. It's not like, oh, it's a hit or miss. No, and that's why I tell people, make sure you find out before you open an account, do you help a small business owner like myself? Because a lot of them don't. You know, you put your money in there, and then when you need money, you know, you get disappointed because you never asked, you never structured yourself properly, you never found out what the foundation was with that bank. You know, so I just tell people, don't get disappointed if you never asked or you never built that relationship. Because I run across a lot of people who $20,000, $30,000 a month with certain banks, and just because their credit is bad, they can't get the $20,000 that they need because they found on bills and things of that nature. And I run across a lot of people like that, and I say, "Why you haven't gotten your credit fixed?" And I don't know. No, the money is good, so the money is good. Everything is good. You're not worried about the credit.
Right.
Money's good. Priorities is let me get my personal credit fixed, because at the end of the day, the two will catch up to each other. You're going to need all three components. And I like to tell people this is what it is. There's no ifs, ands, buts to it. So I just like to tell people, you got to have good personal credit as well. Definitely do.
Right. So do you suggest like credit unions, small community banks, as opposed to like a Wells Fargo or Bank of America? If you're a small business starting out, you know, what do you suggest in a situation like that?
So I know on the East Coast, PNC is a great bank, but they're mostly on the East Coast and towards the Midwest a little bit. And the reason I say PNC is because their small business platform operates with Dun & Bradstreet. So any lines of credit, any credit cards, all their platforms report to Dun & Bradstreet. That's great. Wells Fargo is pretty good because I know, they are right. Their platform reports to Experian. I haven't heard great things about Wells Fargo, but I know some of their cards do report to Experian on the business side. Credit unions are good if they have that business side because they're more lenient and they're able to work with you. They know their clients because they're not a large bank. So most people that go in their banks, they pretty much know their clients, sit down with their clients, and they can offer more. Like Navy Federal is if you have somebody in the military and you can set up an account with them, they have a great business side platform. The only thing is they're not in every city.
Yes.
So you may mail your deposits in and stuff like that. But if you have one in your city, then that's a great credit union to work with, Navy Federal. So yeah, those are pretty much PNC, Navy Federal, very good. Great things about them. Wells Fargo, they have cards that report to Experian, but not too, shady things have been happening with that bank. So Chase is also good. Chase reports to Dun & Bradstreet as well. Chase is a decent bank as well. Yeah, I can say actually Chase has a platform for business owners as well. Yes, correct.
So an existing company that's already been in business, 3-4 years, they never really built business credit. They come to your platform. They may have a decent cash flow, not a lot, 20, 30 grand a month, or 10 grand a month, something small, or even seasonal businesses like tax businesses they can make a lot of money January through April, but then it kind of dips off towards the back end of the year. What type of suggestion would you give to, business owners in situations like that when it comes to building business credit and, you know, creating that cash flow that they want year round, but they don't really have the year round cash there in order to achieve that.
So seasonal, when it comes to taxes, they can still build business credit. They would just have to have a budget. If that's the only thing they do, which most people I know, if they do taxes, they probably do credit repair, or they probably do trucking. So they probably have other income coming in from somewhere else. But if it's just they only do taxes, most of them budget out their money for the year. So depending on what they make, they probably only have, say they make, some make 60, 70,000. So they have about 6,000 a month to play with. That's pretty much, they can still build business credit. They will have to budget out. So it may take them a little bit longer to strategically do it over the years. An existing business, the great thing about an existing business is once they build, I can show them how to put their statements out there, meaning their profit and loss statements and things like that, to Dun & Bradstreet. So when they do start building business credit, they will get a higher credit limit than somebody who just started. So there may be double if they see their profit and loss statement or they see a balance sheet out there. So there's ways for an existing business who's making that good revenue, 20, 30,000, to get more money and get their lines of credit a little bit faster and higher.
Okay.
Correct.
Well, that's good news for people that got existing businesses,
Yes.
being able to put those P&L statements out there. That's excellent.
Oh, yeah.
What about they need to have P&L statements that match up with the funds, I'm sure.
Almost there. My background is accounting. As a telebusiness owner, you gotta have your year-end audit every year. You gotta get that done. Like, you've been in business 5 years. I need all that caught up. Like, I'm gonna tell you straight up, like, you gotta get that caught up. And I say now you can put that out there on Dun & Bradstreet, and now you can get more higher lines of credit. So yeah, have your books, have your taxes up to date, people. If you're in business, please, that's the number one thing people look at. They want to look at them books. They want to see your books. You see that? They don't want to talk to you. Look at that. So, have your books in order. Definitely have your books in order and up to date. Taxes too. Yes.
Well, Mr. Butler, we definitely appreciate it. Just tell us, before we get out of here, just tell the audience a little bit about all the services you provide, because, you're talking about accounting and bookkeeping. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people can use your service, as well as, they may be outside of the Florida area. And if you're able to assist them, let's put that out there as well.
Okay. No, I appreciate that. So right now, currently, I consult business owners through building business credit. I show business owners how to build a minimum of $50,000 in business credit. In the near future, I will be advertising on my website about bookkeeping and payroll services as well. You can check me out. My website is success.net. You can catch me on Facebook at facebook.com/The Business Credit Guy. You can check me on IG. My company name, New Era Success, all one word on IG. And if you want to contact me directly, my mobile number is 954-329-4188.
Well, Mr. Butler, I definitely appreciate it. Appreciate your time and all the nuggets you've given the audience today. I could sit here and talk about, I had to look at the time, man. I could sit here and talk about this all night, because I love business and, just being able to strategize and come up with ways to be creative in order to help, everybody grow. So I definitely appreciate it.
Not a problem, brother. I appreciate your time, man. I appreciate you for having me on. And thank you out there for all the listeners. Appreciate it. And definitely don't mind sharing the knowledge to help out.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Hey, folks, that is the end of our interview for our 100 Points in 30 Days Summit. And if you need help with business credit, you want to give Mr. Cedric Butler a call, go to his website. You heard the website, you heard the Facebook handle, you heard the Instagram. There's no excuse not to get in contact with him, because the helping hand is at the end of your own arm. And as always, here from Credit Masters Live, folks, the results are real. Bye for now.